Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. I'm here with my friend and colleague, Ms. Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Carolina from California Cover Ups, and we are the Biz Chicks. I want to welcome you to Coffee and Conversations. We'll soon be visited by our colleague, Ms. Sylviana Moore, and we always like to get started with a great topic revolving business and around how to live life better. So, what are we talking about this morning, Fran?
Well, one of the other biz chicks who normally comes in here on a Tuesday, Miss Terry Johnson, online from New York City, she was uh, working on something, or she presented something uh, on one of her programs that she does on Tuesday, and she was
Mm-hmm.
talking about customer touch points, and I was like, wow. Okay, so she's talking about the customer touch points and how important they are. Some people call them funnels, where, okay, uh, where you get the person here but it's also a customer journey from point to point to point to point to point. And I was thinking, do we actually understand what happens on our customer journey? In our business, we're supposed to have or know what happens at each stage a customer interacts with us. But do we really understand the importance of it? And
Mm-hmm.
then some common mistakes that happen. And we're going to look at those things today. The touch points, we need to master the touch points, and we're only going to be able to get into a little bit of it, but the full uh, there will be a more in-depth, detailed, deep dive of it over on Indie Soup Media with Dr. Tachi, because it'll be part of our starting out program over there.
Mm-hmm.
And the video will be, or the program topic is mastering customer touch points and avoiding these common mistakes. So
Mm.
we can jump in and start talking about it. What is a touch point? Because that was something
I
that was
I think that's really important because it can be confusing when you start to talk about this subject, especially when you throw in things like language about funnels and customer journeys or mapping the process. There's so many different ways to label it, I guess is where I'm
Mhm.
going with this, that after a while you think they're all different and then you're confused. So
And then
I think it's important for us to just clear
define
that
it.
up.
Get a definition. Funnel sounded, I don't know where they got that word. Uh, but
But it
it
sounds
didn't
like
sound,
people are being squeezed. I don't like the idea of being squeezed.
I don't either. Oh my gosh. Or herded. Like, okay, get them all in the funnel. Okay. And that was so 2013, 14, 15, pushing people through a funnel. That wasn't it.
It doesn't sound customer friendly either,
Mm-mm.
does
It
it?
doesn't sound like a ride I'd like to be on.
Funnel,
So,
tunnels, none of it.
no. So, coming through, I like the journey, having a
Mhm.
customer follow you on a journey, because you want them to be with you for however long
Mhm.
they wish to be with you. So I like the word journey. I'm trying to think if there's a different word. Uh, Customer
Path, I like
path.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Path
Mhm.
the customer takes with your company. Um,
Map. Map sounds good too. How does this map lead to an outcome that we both can enjoy?
Because a map is good because the customer knows where they're going and oh, it's clearly outlined. Oh, we're going to go here. Okay, my next step is this. When you know where you're going, it is so much easier on the brain.
Think about it. When you go into a store and you don't know what aisle the milk is on, and you ask one of their employees, "Where's the milk?" They all know where the milk is because they're familiar with the map of the store. Or they'll go over and they'll look at, a kiosk or whatever and say, "It's on this aisle," because there's a map. When you go in the mall, remember that? They used to have
Yep.
these kiosks and the stores would be listed by number, and then you could tap on that store and you could see the
Wow.
map of where to go.
You are here. And you would see where you are in proximity to where you're trying to get to. And
Correct.
it made it uh, comfortable for the customer. And you're not like, okay, wait, I'm over.
It took the
I
anxiety out of things, didn't it?
yes, it did. One of the reasons I don't go into the big box stores a lot of time is
Mhm.
because I don't feel like trekking through um, and not knowing where something is.
Mhm. Good morning, Dr. Tachi. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, I don't feel like taking all those extra steps to. And you know what I don't like? And we'll probably get to this when we talk about mistakes that people make in business. I don't like when at Christmas time the aisles are so obstructed by merchandise that I can't even get my cart through the store. It's like stuff is just everywhere.
Right. Yes. So we're talking about touch points. So what is a touch
Mhm,
point? Let's take a
mhm,
look. Huh. Touch points in business, they're the interactions or the engagements that we have with our customers. It's
mhm,
like when they first call you up. Oh, let me tell you about this story yesterday. So my cousin was talking about because my husband wanted some fish, right?
mhm, mhm.
So my cousin, my
Mhm.
my husband wanted to get some fish, and you can get fish. Uh, there's different people who do different type of fish, but he wanted
Mm.
some catfish with the bread crusted, certain kind of way, right? And
Yes.
I was like, "There's nothing open on our side of town."
Mm.
Well, um, our cousin said that there was a new place over that was off of Bruceville that you can go get this fish, right?
Okay.
And so I had never been in the store, never heard of them, and I just called it up. No, because you can log it into your GPS on the car to
Mm.
find out where it is. Then I said, let me call and see if I can order the fish so I can just go pick it up and go because it
Yes.
is a restaurant and bar. I was like, okay. So I called. They said, hey, how can we help you today? And I said, I like, okay, because it said seafood, Cajun seafood, uh, restaurant and bar. Well,
Mhm.
seafood to me sounds like shrimp, crab, stuff. It didn't sound like fish. It doesn't
Shellfish. Yeah.
necessarily
Mhm.
didn't necessarily mean fish. I said, do you have fish? And they said,
Mhm.
"Oh, yes, we do." And I said, "Well, what kind of fish do you have?" "Well, we have catfish and we had cod." I said, "Okay, do you have a meal?" "Oh, yes, we do." They had, you could get catfish with fries, and I don't know if that's a meal, but anyway, catfish with fries and codfish with fries. I said, "Okay, thank you. Well, I'd like to order one of each because I wasn't trying to make it complicated because I didn't
Mhm.
read a menu or anything." Remind you, this is the first interaction with the people. And they said, okay. And I said, can I place my order now and come pick it up? Why, sure. So I put in the order. They didn't even ask me for a card because I'm driving too. So pulling out a card was going to be an issue. I would have to pull over, and they said it'll be ready in 15 minutes. I said, well, thank you. And then they took my name. Then I drove over, and in the 15-minute time frame, um, are you Fran? Well, we have your order ready. And is this your first time with us? I was like, yes, it is. How did you hear about us? And they just was very engaging. That was the first touch point was me calling for to find out information. One, when are you closing? Two, what kind of food do you have? Three, so I'm having this interaction with them. And that first touch point was very pleasant. There have been other times when you call a company and you're like, okay, I will
I am
not.
so glad that you didn't have the normal experience of, because I usually start with, when I call places that fry fish basically, I usually start with, what are you out of? Because I don't want to go through the menu, start ordering stuff, and they've already been rated by everybody in town. Just tell me what you have left, and from there I will make my decisions. You know what I mean? So you had a really good encounter for.
Right. And it was I was okay, so that was touch point number one with that company. Touch point number two was walking in the store to pick up the fish, right? And there are families eating food, so I'm looking around because I've never been in the place, and so I'm taking it all in. Okay, my first thing is looking at floors. I'm sorry, but I do. I look at floors, and I'm looking to just to take all in the sights and see if I'm coming back here. You don't know that at the time when you're doing that, but there's check boxes happening, right? And so there was a private dining area, right? When I first walked in, looked to the right, there was a dining area with a family in there, and everybody was eating. People, when I was coming into the parking lot, people were coming out with bags. Apparently there was birthday parties or something. I'll tell you, Sunday, it was Sunday, so a lot of people were eating. There was a bar in the back, and then there was seating over there. And I was like, this looks really good. Okay. Check on the ambiance in the room. That was another checkpoint. I walked up to the counter and I didn't have to wait long. Hi, did you place an order? You must be Fran. And they checked my order, in the bag and whatever. Um, how'd you hear about us? And I was like, thank you. Well, we look forward to seeing you again. And I was like, okay. Not like sometimes where they ignore you and just here's your bag and so.
Meanwhile, your food's getting cold.
Right. So, I'm not too sure if we went over the backstory of touch points. I think for every
No.
entrepreneur, it's a very much so a internal process, right? Because you will get your feelings hurt out here messing with these customers. Okay, they're gonna let you know what touch points Miss Francine mentioned that you don't have. Okay.
True.
Speaking of a customer, I am a brand strategist wherever I go. So when I walk into places, I'm like, this could be better. Okay. Always, even if I choose to give that feedback or not. But I had just been in Oakland this past weekend visiting family, and I wanted to go to this spot called Doggy Dog. I mean, it was very much so recommended. A couple other family members told me to go. I'm on the internet looking up TikTok and videos of just places I need to visit, and it's showing up. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go. And me first, I like to do my homework. I'm trying to figure out what I gotta order, how far it is, all the information, right? So the first touch point that was missed, and I think for anyone, as you mentioned, Miss Francine, is the discovery stage. When I hear something, I'm either going to find you. And when I find you, it's either because of a video or a website or a referral, but that's still probably going to require for me to go online and figure out, okay, what do I want to order? And so that brings me to my point. They had no website. They had an Instagram, but the information was out of date. The last post was from like 2 years ago. So now I'm scared. Like, okay, is it open? So then I started digging for more information. I'm on their Twitter now. The food looks good, but it just doesn't look like it's open. I call the number, it's a disconnected number. So now I'm like, okay, all right. So now we go based on convenience, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm in the area. Let me just go on by. It's about 7 minutes away. Let me just go on by. So first and foremost, I almost missed it because the signage was so small. So to your point, that in-store experience was kind of lacking. I had to oh, okay, it's right over there. When I got there and parked, there was a gentleman outside. So I'm thinking, oh, nice, hello, a greeter at the door. He was like, oh no, ma'am, we're closed. So that prompted me to let him know, one, the hours is wrong. I barely came because I wasn't sure if you were even a open establishment, because everything is giving closed. The phone number doesn't work. He was like, well, we've been trying to change that. As an entrepreneur to an entrepreneur, baby, I'm telling you that you're missing money. I'm sure I'm not the first, but probably one of a few that have communicated this to you. And you're missing so many opportunities for customers like Miss Francine or Miss T, who are like, y'all already out, sold out. There's no hours. Is this a real establishment, right? Because we're all looking for different things when it's time for us to spend our money. And I know for me, customer service, if it ain't a 10 out of 10, baby, I'm going home. I'm going home.
Well, Dr. Tachi says clearly they don't want money.
See?
Clearly.
You see? From a customer to customer, it's like, okay, I literally didn't even fight him. I said, oh, okay, turned around. Like, oh, I was already expecting for you to be closed, so my feelings are not even that hurt, right? But to your point of an entrepreneur who is trying to be better, touch points are so imperative, guys. Every opportunity that you touch and are not even touch, because sometimes it can be touchless, right? Especially now where everything is online. People have chat bots, people are setting up sales funnels if you're doing it the right way, so that literally there is a touch point every step of the way, right? If you are missing that opportunity to put out a freebie, or you're allowing people to have full carts on your website and they're not being notified, hey, you missed your cart. There are some businesses out here that are not leaving it to chance, okay? Like people call, like you picking up your order, I got an email, text, and a call. Like, okay. And it's not being pessimistic. It's not being harassing. No, it's following up because this is your business, right? It's almost going back to the pitch error. You can't be afraid to pitch yourself. You can't be afraid to follow up with the customer.
Right. Mark has a comment here. He said, that's why I do all of my business out of a windowless van at different service stations. I'm a professional.
Absolutely.
And Dr. Tachi said, I shouldn't have to try that hard to get service.
Mm-hmm.
So I like what you were saying, Silviana. People should not have to work and grunt and grind trying to do business.
What do we say at BizChicks? Make it easy for people to give you their money.
That part.
Yes, we take
make it
Visa, MasterCard,
pay you,
Apple Pay, Venmo, Cash
because
App,
I'll do
checks. What you got?
Do you take Cash App? No, I don't take Cash App. I only do Venmo. I only do Zelle. I only do. Okay.
Yeah, I've had people tell me cash. They look at me like that's a foreign language, because they don't have any change to.
Yeah. Now, for some stores, I get it, because they don't want people to come in and, rob and all that good stuff. People gonna do it anyways, unfortunately. But, to your point, you need to have an omni-channel. I don't got Apple Pay. Okay. I don't have, and that's the other thing. Doggy Dog was all cash establishment, Miss T. So I was a little bothered. I went to the ATM and everything,
Oh, no.
So to your point, yes, you have to have preferences for all people. You have to have a disability ramp. You have to have, everybody of all diversities in your business to welcome everyone. You have to be honest, Miss Francine, I was a little disappointed when you had to ask if that fish came with a meal. Because again, I should already know that.
And see, I was in the car driving where I couldn't look him
At the
up.
menu. Okay.
Yeah, I hadn't looked at the menu. My husband called his cousin or his mom or somebody and called me back, and they said, "Oh, this is the name of the business." And so I just put it in my GPS on the car, and then I called. I said, "Okay, let me call before I drive all the way over there."
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I love the businesses where they star their favorite meals or their chef special. Like, make it easy for me, okay? I love when my waiter has been there 5 to 10 years and she telling me what she eat on her lunch break.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been to a new restaurant and the waiter is looking at you like, I don't even eat here? It's the most awkward thing. Like, okay, all right. Well, can you ask the cook to come out? Like,
Look,
somebody.
my nephew works at used to work at this chain restaurant. I shall let him remain nameless. And he said, "Mom, don't eat there."
Mm-hmm.
He was like, don't eat there. I was like, "Oh, and he works there." And like,
That's a concern.
right. And he was like, don't eat there.
Don't do it.
My son, he used to work at a movie theater. He said, "Don't eat the popcorn." I was like,
Yes.
"Do not eat the popcorn."
No,
I was
that's
like,
scary.
okay, so stuff happening in the background. We don't know what's going on. Mark said, "At this point, I accept Subway coupons."
Well, I hope it's listed on your website and Instagram, because that's what we mean when touch points. We want preferences, but we also have to make sure that the process is seamless. When I think of touch points, I think of a seamless experience. And a lot of entrepreneurs say, well, that's a lot of work. But yes, it is. But a lot of these things can be automated and are to be done once. And so they're supposed to work for you thereafter, right? So when it comes to when you say, okay, touch points and seamless, Brie, what do you mean by that? What I mean by that is you have to be thinking, what are all of the areas or ways that people are interacting with my content, with my business?
Mm-hmm.
Are people going to my website first? Are people going to our social media first? Are people, when we go to our websites and social media, are we offering them the opportunity to maybe be a part of our email listing so they're able to get more information? Is there any personalization or tailored messaging based on what people are interested in or what they potentially buy from you so that you can follow up later, right? To your point, what are the in-store experiences? When I come in, do I know y'all sell EBT from the dough? Do I know, that it's Black owned? Now people have the Black owned stickers outside their doors, which I loved. Is there customer service? That's a big thing for me nowadays. Is there a number, email, or someone that I can reach out to if things are not to go the way that I would like them to? Same thing with advertisement. Is your advertisement have a call to action? Does it have somewhere for your people to click? And then once they click there, it takes them somewhere else, right? It's almost like a user journey, a seamless process. So at the end of the day, you get the sale, but really it's just your touch points that are guiding them through that journey. So those questions that they may need the answer to, such as, do we offer a dinner? Is there a drink special? Things of that sort, that should be along the way. That's why when you go into a restaurant, people upsell you. Hey, do you want an appetizer first, right? There's a processy in order. That's the same thing when it comes to your service-based business or your business as a whole.
This is true. This is very true. Doctor, on the all cash, Dr. Taji said all cash. Well, that's very 1992. And Mark said, there's a tapas restaurant around the corner from me that takes both cash and credit, but your bill is 4% cheaper if you pay all cash. And it's not an inexpensive place. Dr. Taji said, well, that's concerning. I've seen that. Again, making it, nail salons are notorious for this. They want you to pay in cash or tip in cash. I was like, look, this is inconvenient for me to go to the ATM to get some money to pay you in cash.
And then act like there's no other options. Like, you ain't got no Visa receiver back there?
And they want you to pay the extra dollar if you use I don't mind. I'll pay the extra dollar to use the ATM or what is the thing,
For processing. Yeah.
payment processing. But one nail salon that I went to, they got an ATM in the salon.
Wow.
So if they're going to ask you to do it, at least I'm not walking down the street trying to find one and then come in.
Yes. Smart.
Which means they're making money coming and going because they're charging you for the ATM, then you're paying, then you're tipping. Either way, it's a holdup. Just put your hands up and just pay up.
Looking at different people have touch points, even if they're bad points. You know what I'm saying? They are. You have touch points in your business, even if you don't think you have touch points.
Right.
So Mark says tax evasion is much easier than cash. If it's cash, who said that? And Dr. Tachi said they don't want to pay the fees associated with taking credit cards.
Aren't those fees tax deductible?
I think they should be, because
I believe they are. It's the cost of doing business.
Processing fees. I'm trying to, like, I just talked about CPA. I'm
I
sure it goes under.
I believe they are tax deductible.
But they definitely want to, even if it's just going in their pockets, they want to flip that around on the consumer and say, yeah, you handle that. That's at convenience stores, nail salons, ATM machines. I mean, I was very upset about the 10-cent bag. Okay. I'm still upset.
I'm still trying to understand that when I ask for paper, why I'm paying 10 cents for a paper bag.
I just don't understand why I need to pay for a bag to carry your goods to my place. The goods I'm buying from you to my place.
They said, the state, the nation, somebody said that.
But that was plastic, Fran. Come on.
Okay, but they just rolled it over the bags.
They said everything.
All bags.
And but that's why that's why they create the self-checkout. I imagine so, for those seamless experiences. It was 10 to 15 items, and then I think they just said everybody can come to self-checkout.
That's after they got us trained.
Right, after they taught us how to scan and now we can work at the store. And self-checkout is okay, I guess. I actually like it because I don't have to deal with all y'all in the line. And they still ask you how many bags, and then they charge you for the bags.
My mom is a very intentional bagger, and you got kids that like to put the eggs on top of the bread. So that's why we transitioned over to self-checkout. Less issue.
Well, Dr. Tachi has a comment here.
I like self-checkout.
And they said they should add the cost of the bags into the prices so we don't notice. Yes.
Which is what they've been doing for years.
Put the 10 cent.
But people didn't like that. When it comes to Ticketmaster, I think they just passed a law saying that they have to show all the fees because they were rounding it up. And people are like, if the tickets say 40 and it's coming out to be 45, 47, where is this coming from? So I think now it's where they have to put that 47 price as the official price so that it's not like false advertisement.
Exactly. Okay. Dr. Tashi says she brings her own bag too, by the way.
Yes.
Like bait and
with
switch.
that whole Ticketmaster, it's the whole delivery system for stuff. So so I got something from Uber Eats and who's other people, DoorDash, Grubhub, all of them do it. So the price, Instacart too. So on Instacart, let me start with the Instacart. I went to Instacart to get some groceries and I noticed something. It says in-store prices on some of the groceries.
Wow.
So that led me to believe that if it didn't say in-store prices, they were upcharging you on the other prices.
What?
Yes. So if you go to a restaurant and because this happened with Fixins, Terry. I went to the restaurant and just what was it? Banana pudding. The banana pudding at the restaurant was say $2, but when you got it through DoorDash, it was $4.
You right.
And then there was the delivery fee. Then there was
Service fee.
the service fee, and then they wanted you to tip on top of that.
So it basically came out to $10 by the time you finished fooling with them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Wow.
nice. I've seen my Grubhubs 12, 15. Like it's like I'm basically paying for the meal twice.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, how am I paying $50 for 2 tacos?
It'll make you rethink your hunger. Like, hold on. Is
All I
gas
know-
cheaper?
All I know is that when I got my mani-pedi this weekend, that the starting rate for tips was 17%. I'm like, are you kidding me? 17 and up. So now we're at 20%, what, 25%? I didn't even look at the other. I clicked
Custom.
because I was just like, y'all have lost your rabbit mind.
Yes. And I get it. Everything is going up in price or surcharges everywhere. People are trying to find the imbalance of the balance, right? Or the balance of the imbalances. But what my issue is, we've always been told as entrepreneurs, when the price goes up, the value goes up. So
Right.
unless something
That part.
changed,
That
you know,
part.
because my nail salon also went up, but they also were bringing sodas, waters, and mimosas, So I'm like, okay.
And they have all of that. I don't have a problem with that. That's why I chose them.
Yeah.
Because you're in competition with other people.
Yeah.
That does not mean that I'm going to give you a 17%
Yeah.
tip.
Me and my mom were just talking about that. What happened to the $25 pedicures? The $30 pedicures? Now there's it's right.
They start at 45.
Literally.
So Mark has a comment here. He said, you want to see my blood pressure go up? Self-checkout. Are you using your own bag? Place bag in space. Are you using your own bag? Yes. I clicked yes. Stop asking me. It's there.
There's an item in the bag area.
It's mine. Okay. Good morning, Keita. And Mark says he's done some price comparisons between Instacart, grocery store websites, Grubhub, DoorDash, etc. I've had cost differences as high as $13.
Yes. Now we know Prime Day just happened. For those who forgot, I'm sorry, but it happened, y'all. The 16th and 17th, I believe. But my mom, we were having a conversation because she was like, the sales aren't the same anymore. Like
No,
the
they
word
aren't.
like it's like, are you getting a sale? Like a discounted sale of a sale? Like sales are not the same anymore. Promos are not the same anymore. Like I literally sit in the Popeyes line like, okay, do I need to get the 2-piece? Okay, that's that with the 5-piece. Like you have to play those games because I'm a frugal person by nature. I don't like wasting my money. I try to be super intentional about my money. I rather save or give to, tithes and offering rather than pay $2 extra for a biscuit, So I've been really upset with our economy lately. But I say that to say, going back to those touch points, Popeyes just implemented in a lot of different places, the ability for you to order your own food inside the store.
Oh,
Now,
the kiosk?
The kiosk.
Oh.
Now, I was upset because, they've been popping up. So I've had time to get used to it, but they've been popping up and I've been getting so upset because it almost is like, especially for Popeyes, y'all got to go to a Popeyes this week to see what I'm saying. But for them, it's almost like they're getting the model backwards. They're implementing these kiosks, then they're taking everyone away from the front counter, and then you have the drive-through bagging from the front counter, and it just makes no sense to me. When you think about the customer experience, you have to think about the flow, right? Like we said about these touch points. If I'm coming through the drive-through, I rarely am judging you. If you got a smile, say a hi, I'm trying to get this food, go back to work, you know what I'm saying? Like just make sure the food right and we good. Whereas if I'm coming in person, I done parked. I expect all the greetings, okay? I need everything to be right. So you telling me to use a kiosk when you right here is a problem for me, okay? So that's my issue. Preferences are great, but when you start requiring for people to do things, you lose me there.
I think this whole thing started with the bank. Do you remember when the bank used to have tellers And then they started charging you $2 to talk to a teller about your own money.
What bank was
I was
this?
done. I was
Terry, Terry was through.
Oh no, that
Mhm.
would
My
have had to
bank,
close the account.
I still get to talk to a teller at my bank. I just choose not to want to go into the bank. But if I have to go in and ask a question, I get a person with a face.
Yes.
And like you, I went to Jamba Juice and they said use the kiosk. And I'm looking at that. I can't, what is the word? Customize my drink at the kiosk.
That part. I can't get my sauces right. Like this is a problem.
But then people, you got a line behind you waiting. I was like, okay, excuse me, can you come over here? And I know it's not, I'm not tech challenged. I want to customize my order. But if I just tell you sub the almond milk with the regular milk, you can do that. And the machine don't have to try and figure that out. Hmm.
I know it's a battle, y'all. This customer service is a battle.
Right. And Keita says you better get the app for restaurants now. Popeyes, McDonald's, even grocery stores. I,
You know something? Have you noticed it's been so much pushback that a lot of these fast food places have implemented a $5 meal? Because when they went over $5, people was like, you know what? Plus you want a tip, plus there's no customer service. And I had to order it myself. I had to get out of my car, come in here, like you said, and deal with a kiosk. And nobody here to help me. At least at the airport, when you're dealing with a kiosk, there's usually somebody there to show you, yes, ma'am, click here to get your tags. And, but
But I'm mad at them too because I think they didn't up the time to from 15 to 25 minutes to Borden now. But we could talk about that. But Keto, me and you, we are friends, okay? I know we never met, but we are social friends. We could be real friends come to season 52. But yes, we are friends because at this point now, that's why they incentivize the apps. You used to get free food by downloading them. Now you get the points. I eat free lunches all the time because of my accumulated points, okay? I am a pointer. But I will say the customization is lacking sometimes. So they need
oh,
to, upgrade some of the apps. And I typically will open all my apps up and just say, okay, where am I eating? Who got the best price today? Who got the best promotion? And that's kind of what I'm doing because you're right, Miss T. Everything is so high.
right,
Everything.
right. I've been using apps for, I like the apps so I can put my order in before I drive over there to go get it.
That too.
And that made it so much easier for me to just like, okay, what do I want? How do I want it? Okay. It's just an interesting dynamic between the customer. We're talking about making it a smooth transition. Sometimes the digital stuff is not very smooth for people. Mark has a comment here. He says, more and more I find retailers raising or faking a higher regular price, then stating that it is on sale.
Yeah.
How much? How do we make it look like you're going to get a deal when you're not getting a deal?
Yep. Make a $15 price, $22, and then say, hey, we're discounting it to 17, or buy one, get one free at the regular price. So you're pretty much buying both already. Yeah, Mark. Absolutely. This is the time to price match, okay?
Keita said we need to StreamYard on this discussion. Okay, let's do it, Keita. And then also, she says it's crazy. McDonald's regular price is as high as Applebee's sometimes. Look,
it is so true. I can take my grandkids to Seasons 52 for the same price.
exactly, and get a better experience on the inside. People come and talk to you. What would you like with that? Would you like lemonade? Would you? You get a whole different experience for the same price as McDonald's.
Yes. But that's why this is the time for us to be reading the fine print, folks. Reading the fine prints. Like I didn't know there's that famous backpack brand, Jansport, I think. There's
Uh-huh.
a warranty on all of those backpacks. I used to get a backpack every year. Crazy. The iPhone cases or front glass temperate, most of those give out warranties. Like you can just pay for shipping and they'll resend you out a new one. You got to read the fine print. I know Jiffy Lube, they give you a top off if you're halfway within your oil change. Like I've been reading all the fine print, okay? And eating the kids' meals. Did you know Habit has a kids' meal where the burger is just as big as the adult meal, but it's
Ooh.
$6 for the French fries, apple, and drink, okay?
Say
So, listen, I wouldn't tell you no lies.
what? We're going to the Habit. Give
Yes.
me the
So I
kids
think it's
meal.
about reading the fine print. These companies are playing their games, as Mark was suggesting. I am playing mine too. Okay.
Yes, we're going to have to do a little visitation uh, and talk about uh, helping people through those processes, because the customer touch points uh, on social media, like you said, there are gaps, and people are falling in the little pit. Like, what happened? Where am I? Don't know where they are. Uh, where
Mark says,
am
do
I?
they make you present proof of age here for
You
the
know,
child's meal?
no. But to your point, Mark, I'm so glad that you provided the disclaimer, because you're so right. There are some establishments where it's like, where's the kid? How old are you? Now, granted, I'm 5 feet, Mark, so you know. I'm a little different. But if I was being 100% honest, Habit does not require proof.
Well, Keita says Chipotle
Yes.
kids meal is good size.
That
Mhm.
quesadilla with the sides for Chipotle, that was new. It's like 5.15.
'Cause see, we are trying to, okay, the whole moral of this story is make it easy for people to do business with you, to pay you for your services. You provide an outstanding service, but it might be some hit or miss in between. And we want to eliminate the hit or miss in between. What were some of the inconsistent messaging? Not maintaining a uniform brand voice. Oh, okay, was that the doggedy dog? Was that?
Yeah, that was a doggedy dog all over the place. You don't know if they open or close. They doggedydog.com, doggedydog.net. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you remain the same. When people click on your links to find more information, it shouldn't be BizChicks over here and then BizChicks 2.0 over there. The branding, the voice, the tone, the pricing, everything should be adjacent.
Okay. Another thing that is common mistake, ignoring customer feedback.
Yes, I know so many owners who will go crazy on a negative feedback and then just like the positive one. Let's be reminded, folks, the positive feedback typically is from a user that's going to return. We want to maintain and manage that relationship. Unless you're telling the upset feedback to, hey, come back in, let's try again, we're using our efforts in the wrong way.
Right. And did they have a snafu with working with you? Did you apologize for that? Did you fix it? Failing to listen to or respond to customer concerns or suggestions.
They know your brand better than you do, folks. If something is coming up consistently, if everybody else after Miss Francie called that restaurant and asked about that dinner, we might need better advertisement and communication around our offerings, right? So
Right.
no, if people are asking if this is durable or how much is shipping or can I get a refund and there's no refund policy, that means there needs to be clarity around those topics.
So let's take Amazon for example. You know how to return stuff. Here, drop it off at UPS, drop it off at Staples, drop it off over here. We will have no question asked. Just take it back. You don't even have to put it in a bag. Just take it back. I was like, ooh. And a
Right.
lot of people want to know why they are doing so much better.
Yeah.
They make the whole thing very easy
Yep.
to interact with them.
And I don't know
Okay.
if you've noticed, Miss Francine, they actually have employees who are riding the service trucks. And if you do express order, I just got put onto this. If you do express, that's the contractors, like people like you and me, who are actually in their personal cars. So I thought
Yes.
they have a system for literally everything. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they are very and it's people,
Yeah.
because the next thing that some mistake customer companies make, the next mistake was over automation, relying too heavily on automated system where
Oh,
you
you mean like when you call to try to get your internet fixed and they want to know, did you plug and unplug it? And
oh
they
my
got
god,
this accent from a foreign country and you don't
no,
know if
we're
you're
talking
really talking to somebody from the company.
or we actually, the automated part is like you're talking to a machine, and it's okay, unplug and and then you're actually not talking to a human, you're
Yes.
talking to the bot telling you to unplug, and we know that's the first thing that we do. If I'm calling you, I have
And
done
then
all
when
of
the
that.
human comes on, they ask you the same question the bot asked
I've
Misty
already
is bad. You remember, you have those moments because you remember you right here when you agent, agent, one of those, like, okay, I'm over it. That's
right
why there's some companies I just won't deal with, you guys. I can't. I can't. If it's a chat bot, I don't want any dealings.
now. I keep saying this, I like T-Mobile because I talk to a human first. They will get you to a human, and I don't you don't even talk to the bot first. The human comes on the line first.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Because it's
because there's some,
common sense. It's so much common sense. Like if you have a mass majority of people calling, I get it. The lazy thing to do is to automate. But if most of these people are calling because they're upset, frustrated, or have a question, I don't know if I want to put a bot in place of a person for those situations.
because now you just up the level.
By the time the agent get on the phone, she might want to. She wants to put me back on the phone with the bot, okay? Because I'm upset.
And they can't solve a problem. It's just like with the I can't customize my order on a kiosk. I can't sometimes tell you what is happening when I only have the opportunity to email you, and I can't say, it's hard to articulate in writing what is happening. I was like, now I need a PhD in something to try and tell you that I need you to remove this picture from this. And then why is it that I can't remove? I can upload pictures, but I can't remove them.
And if I didn't send you a full essay with some attachments and everything else, too much energy. I'm over it.
Right. And then so now I can't use the system that you set me up with. Now I got to go find something else because my interaction with you is not a pleasant one. All right. Let's see if anybody has any comments before I move. Oh,
What? Keita, I'm messaging you. Wow.
okay. So she says that explains the pigtails, the lollipop, the baby Janes, and the skipping every time you go out to lunch. You guys are funny. And then she says, quiet as is kept, Amazon resells their returns on pallets.
But
But
again, touch points.
But most people sell their overruns and things like that at
but
discount auctions, etc.
because
Mhm.
somebody's gonna want them. Mark says I was mistakenly suspended from Facebook 5 weeks ago. Facebook doesn't even care enough to provide an autoresponder, a bot, or an AI assistant. A human, not a chance. You scream into a void.
Same thing for people getting all these payouts. There's no customer service for that. Yeah.
Wow. Let's see here. So poor customer. Okay, so we talked about over automation. These are mistakes company makes with um, their touch points. Poor customer service. Okay, that is enough said. It's just like you got somebody back behind the counter who don't even want to work today.
No
Oh my
attitude.
gosh. Isn't that ridiculous? This is after you fought your way into the restaurant. And there's nothing worse than talking to an employee who does not understand your business. I went into Popeyes. They have some kind of chicken wing special, and you get this sauce on it. And I said to them, I just want the chicken wings. I don't
Me
want the sauce.
too.
Well, we can't. You can't do it.
That's not true, Miss T. Which Popeyes you was at? Don't have me upset. Now, granted, I only go to about two
I'm
of
having
them.
a conversation with like a 17-year-old kid.
It's the ghost pepper wings. That is so disrespect. That makes me so upset.
Just don't put the sauce on it. Just don't put the sauce on it.
Put it was he was just incoherent when it came to what I was requesting, and I'm like, "Am I speaking English?" Okay.
Listen, with these children making these $20 an hour, I'm gonna need you to put a little more effort into it.
Okay.
And I
I
think that's
need
why they
you to
went
train them that it's okay.
Yeah.
to not put the sauce on the wings.
And charge me the same price. In fact, I'm using less of your
Product.
resources, your product, and I don't want a discount. I just don't.
Just don't put the sauce on the wings.
I'm just saying.
I'd be like, put the sauce on the side.
And so this is a mistake that's commonly made. You do not train everybody from the front of the business to the back of the business, because a lot of times people will ask the person mopping the floor, where's the bathroom? I mean, what are your hours?
I remember when we used to have to cross train on everything. Now, I didn't need to be doing the accounting and stuff, but at least I can tell you where the accounting office is.
Right.
We still needed to know the layout of the store. You need to know the layout
person
of the
in your
company.
business is the receptionist, the greeter, the first point of contact.
Right.
And like Silviana was saying, sometimes the first point of contact is your Instagram, because you may not have a receptionist anymore, and you may not have some of the traditional ways of doing that. So now we have Instagram or your Facebook page or your website. Oh my gosh. The websites are easy right now. If y'all don't have one and you need one, you need to call me, because I can have one up for you in about an hour. It does not take all that it used to, and you don't have to pay a bunch of extra stuff like they used to.
Yeah.
I remember, websites were a racket back in the day. $10,000.
Yes.
$5,000. I was like, what? But if you just need to have a presence, and Silviana can help you with that too. She can help you get your first touch point together, because people are going to go look you up and find out what you're about. Believe me.
They're
They're
going
looking
to.
for receipts. They're going in there like, can she do this? Okay.
Dr. Tachi says, and yes, Facebook wants to be more relevant. Rubbish.
So, okay, so we did poor customer service, providing inadequate or slow responses to customer inquiries, complex navigation.
Ooh.
And how many hoops do I need to jump through to get my coffee? That's why the new coffee places want you to come, leave where you were and come over here. I know my people over here. I know what to say. I know what to order. I don't need to have a complicated, and they'll listen to you. You know what I'm saying? Starbucks will listen. Even if it's some crazy stuff that you want to put together, they will listen.
Yes. And they take accountability, because I just went to a new Starbucks that I never go to. Yes, you guys, I'm that crazy. I have a location, a preferred location for all of my favorite dining spots. Okay. And this was not one of my preferred Starbucks. And I did one of these, Miss Francine, like, I don't think it's supposed to look like this. I said, no, can we try again? And sure enough, they tried again. But to your point, there's a level of customer service in Starbucks that does not give you any doubts or frustration when there is a situation that needs to be rectified. It's kind of like, hey, nope, let's try again, right? Every time you go into a Starbucks, it's great customer service. To be quite honest, I think I spend money at Chick-fil-A more because I know I'm going to get my pleasure. I just do.
Because you're going to get what you want or get what you asked for.
Yeah.
Without the sauce.
Without the sauce.
Because
I'm just saying.
Things are too high, guys. Think about that from a consumer standpoint, from a business owner standpoint. You have to make it make sense, okay? Because I will straight up leave at this point, like order leave. Like, this is too high. Like, you question as you bite each piece. Like, I just don't know if this was worth it.
And you won't go back.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to whatever that was. I'm not going back to. I don't like drama and stuff. I just want to order, and it's seamless, and I'm good. The next thing is complex. Okay, we talked about complex navigation, making the website or apps difficult to use. I have experienced that. Where do I go on this page to find something? Where's your contact information? Down in the bottom of the page, it says contact, and all I can do is email you. Okay. Lack of personalization.
It's important to cater to every individual customer's needs and preferences.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the big folks are winning. Amazon, buy again. That buy again button is amazing.
And the same thing on Instacart. Oh yeah, I bought this, and I can just click on that. I'm not having to go and trying to remember what was on my list. Oh yeah, I did buy that. And then the last thing, neglecting the mobile experience.
Yes.
Okay, so everything is mobile first now.
Everything.
It's mobile first. The first thing we're going to do is pick up to go check stuff out. We're going to go and look at the reviews. Normally, when we're out and about, we're picking this thing up first. We're not, okay, let me go back home and go to my computer and look it up. It's mobile first.
Yeah.
Learn that from TJ as well. So what is the mobile first experience? I created a website for somebody, and I dawned on me that everybody that's going to look at this website is going to be mobile first. It's not going to be, they're not coming. It looks beautiful on the desktop.
Yeah.
But it needs to look beautiful right here because people are not coming to the desktop.
So just a quick story. I just finished my website for Logic Pro. So happy because, as you know, websites can be daunting. You want to put everything in there. And so I finished my website. And, it was one of those website developers where I did not pay the thousands, right? My Prodigy website, I paid the thousands. So I'm like, do what you need to do, integrate everything. With this one, it was a little bit more hand holding, but I expected that. You pay for what you pay for. And so it was interesting because about 90% done with the website, he tells me, oh, well, the mobile view isn't going to be like that. And I'm like, well, hold on. Why would the mobile view not look identical to the desktop? Like, you telling me to go on, and if I'm okay with this unformatted pictures and words is up here where they shouldn't be, like, make it make sense. So we had to spend time together for an additional few weeks because I had to almost make it clear how important the mobile was for me. Like, he was like, well, we could just turn it off. Like, well, that means people wouldn't be able to access it at all. And so we did use Wix, which I do not prefer Wix. I love Squarespace, but it is what it is. So I had to hide a couple of elements that just would not transfer over quite well to the mobile, which was very frustrating.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. You and I need to talk.
Yes.
Because I'm going to help you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. $19 a year. I'm going to help you. Ooh-wee.
Okay.
Because I'm like, we don't need to ever go down that road again.
No, if you got even email communications, folks, test out the email first by emailing it to yourself and checking what it looks like on mobile desktop. I have unsubscribed to quite a few people or organizations simply because it's like, what am I looking at? Like, who wrote this? We did, like, that's just like if you were to go outside with wrinkly clothes, so I'm from the South. So my folks still iron their clothes to this day. Okay. But let's just say you go outside wrinkly clothes, breath stank, face ain't washed, got the crust on the side. I'm going to assume you're a good person, but I also, perception is everything, okay? It's the same thing when it comes to your guys' businesses, okay? Your landing page, your website, your social profiles, your communication, like she said, your click, the brand style or tone across all channels is important. It's these things matter. This I categorize ABC organizations all the time. Like those people are real nice, but the website is giving not serious, not credible, not scalable, right? So everything definitely has to come together.
Doctor, the coffee. I guess we hit a nerve. Keita says, yes, I eat Chick-fil-A almost daily because it's convenient and they get it done right. And sometimes you're just willing to pay extra to make sure it's smooth.
Is that Tosh? Oh, that's Keita. Okay, so she using the app. I hope she using the app. Okay. Collecting them
And
points.
then Dr. Tachi said, I went to a coffee spot but didn't realize they had changed hands. The matcha latte used to be superb. The one I got from the new owners was absolute nonsense. It's like they didn't even try. They managed to tear down my good feelings about the spot by not keeping up the legacy of the previous owners.
Yeah.
Okay, Terry and I had an experience about customer service. We got fried at Fry's. Fry's is no longer in business. It was an electronics store.
Yeah.
We walked in there and
It was supposed to be the competition to Best Buy.
right. And so we walked in the store looking for some device we were looking for, and the customers were helping us find stuff.
I think we were
Because
looking for an adapter for something.
yeah, and so the people in the white shirts that was supposed to be helping us was all congregated over somewhere else talking
I don't know
about
if they were
something
having a
else.
coffee break on the floor or what.
Horrible.
And so Terry pulled out her phone. That was when Periscope was a thing. And Terry went live and said, we are live here in Fry's, and there is not a customer service person available.
It was terrible. It was unreal.
And at that time, people would jump on your Periscope.
That's why they're closed.
Yeah,
You
And
think?
I've heard
exactly.
from the grapevine that Best Buy is on their way out too.
I wouldn't be
Ooh.
surprised. I
I
think
know.
there's so much competition online, and people who didn't transition early may be having a problem.
Right.
I don't know.
Dr. Fauci said, wow, the power of Periscope. Periscope was real good, and I don't know why Twitter just decided to kill it, but whatever. That's the other thing. Stuff is working, and then they shut it off. And you're like, what are you doing? You got bored with it, not your customers.
Yes.
The customers was gladly paying you for this, and then you shut it down and take it away. Okay.
The first thing they should have did, especially I think it was for Dr. Tashi, for that bureau, that barista, should have been surveying the customers, understanding what was working and what wasn't before they took on the ownership. I think when it comes to touch points, measuring success is going to be customer satisfaction. You have to get those surveys, those reviews to gauge your customers' happiness, right? Then you go back to the metrics and the conversion rates. I'm always going to talk about the numbers because tracking your touch points and how they influence purchases and your customers' loyalty is the name of the game, right? If people are dropping from your website, you know something's not working, right? If the customers are not returning, then you know something's not working, right? So I tell people all the time, do not ignore the signs, the gaps. If you're having an issue, a large issue, it may be because there needs to be mediation there in some way.
Well, this was our conversation today on touch points and what they are, and common mistakes that have been made. Hopefully, we trust that you got something from this today. I know I did. Just saying. There's always going to be tweaks that need to be made in your game. We just want to bring this to your attention so we can make the tweaks to the game. So your game gets a little bit better. Your customers have a better experience and they're going like, oh, I love doing business with the BizChicks. That's why we're here. What? To take the hassle out of your hustle? So we want to invite you to come back and join us again tomorrow. TJ will be here. You can check out Silviana with Logic Pro. Tell us what you got going on with Logic Pro, because you know that people need help.
Absolutely. So for Logic Pro, guys, we are offering a $250 offer for BizChicks specifically. So if you are a member, if you are coming on these coffee conversations every Monday, we're talking to you. If you have been to season 52, we're talking to you. We are offering a $250 service off of your package. So if you choose to do a creation package with us, or a social media package with us, or all of these things bundled into one, we will be taking $250 off of the retainer of that service, which is huge. Okay. We are also still doing free discovery calls. I cannot promise y'all, because y'all is signing up and that takes time. I cannot promise that we're going to continue doing them in August. So I'm going to encourage you all, if you have not already, to sign up for your free discovery call. I've placed that link into this chat. So make sure you guys take advantage of that free offering.
Okay. Terry, anything else you'd like to say before we sign off today?
I just want to remind you that I'm getting feedback from Sterling Hardridge about my customer service for his diaper. So I may have to go.
No worries, we got you.
Okay,
and then the Logic Pros in there. Okay, cool.
Yes, I just want to remind you that if you want to be a part of BizChicks, you can simply text Biz to 33777, or you can go to bizchicks.net. We'd love to have you be a part of our community so we can share what it is you do and how you serve.
That's it for today. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Remember to build a profitable business that's fun to run. We will see you soon.